Hello and welcome to another SBC Chat. This evening we have Pat Hazel come in to join us. So Pat, lovely to have you. Could you introduce yourself, who you live with, what you do, any facts like that? That'd be cool.
Yeah, well, I live here with John, my husband, and very frequently Emily and Henry, our grandchildren, come and have sleepovers here, so that's the norm.
Yeah, cool. And how do you keep yourself busy normally out of lockdown? What kind of things are you up to?
Before lockdown, what was I doing?
Yeah.
Or during?
Wow. I'll both. Okay. Give me whatever pops to mind, don't worry.
Right, well, I mean, before lockdown, obviously, worked with the Thursday morning group, worked with Holiday at Home, those sort of things at church. Have a group of Japanese people that come here. We do sort of language stuff and cooking and stuff like that. Oh. Belong to a couple of book groups, enjoy walking, stuff like that.
Yeah,
but after lockdown, obviously things changed. It was a bit of a blow not to be able to have the garden party and not to be able to have Holiday at Home. That would have been last week. So things had to change. The first thing I thought to do was I must keep my Thursday people in contact. So basically I started writing lots of letters to them, and then decided actually I'd quite like to stay in touch with all the volunteers for Holiday at Home. So lots of posting out of letters and emailing the people that are on email. The big problem with most of the Thursday group and various other friends is that they don't have computers, they don't have mobile, smartphones and things. And so they basically can't access all the stuff that the church does online. So I thought to myself, right, okay, this is snail mail, stamps and envelopes, get on with it. And it's been absolutely brilliant. I've never had so many replies come. It's just lovely. You open the door and instead of all this printed stuff with little plastic windows, you get handwritten envelopes, with proper stamps on, and you think, oh, this is nice. And you open it up and you've got the most wonderful, wonderful letters.
So those that are considered more vulnerable are allowed out now. But obviously a lot of people have been in lockdown for quite a long time. Has there been anything funny or odd that you found yourself doing in lockdown?
How long have you got?
Oh, all day.
Dear. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, once lockdown happened and once we were able to actually go out again, which I know a lot of people still can't, and I feel for them, but once we were able to start going on walks and things, John would take me for some short walks, and one particular one, we started at Riddlesdown School, and we walked across the common all the way to Whiteleaf Park.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you know that connection, but if you know Whiteleaf Park,
yeah.
Very, very steep park with a sand pit at the top, and then you've got a slope above that and the woods above that, which take you back up onto the common.
Yeah.
Well, we'd had this lovely walk down by the playground and everything, which was all taped off, which I felt really, really sad about. And I said, look, here's a path, let's go let's take a shortcut up this hill. But the problem was, after a little while, the path kind of petered out and we were still sort of like heading upwards. And the ground was very dusty and gravelly and slippery. And basically, it wasn't very long before I was actually trying to negotiate it on my hands and knees. John sort of saying, grab hold of this tree root here. Now grab hold of this here, and so on. So anyway, I was just giggling. I just couldn't stop laughing. But really, that wasn't the sensible thing to do, because then I started sliding downwards on my tummy. And it was a bit hilarious, but a bit at the same time, what do we do now?
Bless you. How's your, I mean, it's been so long now, but how's your experience of this been so far? How
Well, basically lockdown, yeah. I mean, at the start, the worst thing of all was just not being able to see the grandchildren. Or if they visited, we were one side of the window and they were the other side. And it was just horrendous, because you were desperate to cuddle them and talk to them and everything, and you just couldn't. That was the worst. Obviously, nothing like the situations that people were, with COVID were coping with. The best thing at the start of lockdown was the calm and the quiet and the serenity. No planes going over. We could walk down the middle of the road. We saw a deer run across Crome Valley Road on the bus route part, which was just so beautiful. And we thought, oh, couldn't life be like this forever? How wonderful. And then you're reading about the air is clearer, the sky is bluer, and the earth is appreciating all this rest and everything. And you think, oh, let it last. But
so you've mentioned the grandchildren earlier. So obviously, I think you've been able to go and see them now.
We've been having some great times out with the grandchildren in the last few weeks. Yeah. Took them to Hever Castle last week, to the water maze, where they did what they love most, which is getting absolutely drenched. So we were actually pouring the water out of their shoes, and we just had a wonderful time. Yeah. So it's good to have to relate to them again, and with the two little ones, Ian's two, Zach and Sophia. Zach was 5 on Sunday, so we all had a lovely family walk together, and I didn't go up any slopes.
Thank you, Pat. Is there a Bible passage that you found helpful during this period, or one that you've always sort of stuck with?
One that I really liked, that was in the sermon last week, from Isaiah 42, I just thought was absolutely beautiful. The beautiful images of God's servant being gentle, the gentleness of God. Not, God's servant, we're told, who will not break a bent reed, and he won't put out a flickering lamp. And that to me suggests infinite patience, especially with people who are frail and weak. And also in that passage, his priority for seeking justice on the earth. I just think those verses are really, really powerful and important. And I love that.
Is there anything that you'd appreciate prayer for, or friends and family that SBC could pray for?
The people that I would really, really like us all to be in prayer for are the people who are still stuck indoors. And there are people from our own fellowship who have still not been able to go out. And it's a long time. Some of them are not well themselves. Some of them are stuck indoors because they're caring for another family member. And to me, if I couldn't go out of my front door when I fancied the little walk, I'd be climbing walls. And how these people are being patient, are staying in, and they know other people are out there going for walks, enjoying themselves, going to the shops, doing stuff. They're the people that are really, my heart breaks for these. their thoughts of being stuck indoors. And we have people in our own fellowship who are still stuck indoors. So they're the people I would like us to control, please.
Yeah, and we will definitely do that. Thank you, Pat, for spending time with us on SBC Chat. If anybody would like to be part of it, please send me a message. God bless, guys. Bye.
Bye.